Hey everyone, I was there at the Auto Expo yesterday and I just had to make this video about my experience there. See, overall, it is wonderful. It is really wonderful and it probably, sees India showcasing itself at one of its best. But when it comes to the crowds that you see at the Auto Expo, it is really terrible. It is really terrible, and I really feel that something drastic needs to be done so that we see much less people than what we see at the Auto Expo, and especially what I saw yesterday. And it's so ironical. Yesterday was actually supposed to be a media day where it's primarily the media as well as those who have certain special passes. I'll show you my pass. In fact, I had this pass which you can see is like a special invitee pass, and so it was supposed to be exclusive, also meant only for 5th and 6th January, and therefore accordingly I went on the 6th, which is Friday, which was yesterday, and but then the experience was really terrible because even in spite of the day being supposedly exclusive and meant for certain sections only, there were such huge crowds, and in fact some of the stalls I could not even see any of the vehicles because there was such huge crowds that I could not even see, I could not even get to the vehicles in the first place. This is really terrible, and I'm requesting the organizers as well as those who have their cars on display and vehicles on display, who've really spent an enormous amount of money and time and effort in putting all of this together, getting all their offerings to the venue. I mean, do something about it, drastically reduce the crowds which you see. And I think there are easy ways, relatively easy ways in which you can really do it. One, like if I go to the tickets, go to buy the tickets, say on online for the Auto Expo on Book My Show, what I see is that there are two categories. There's premium and regular. Premium hours are 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. There are these regular hours. Premium tickets are charged 500 and regular hours are charged 150. I think it is way too low, way too low. I think first of all, I think you should make the premium ticket, say instead of 500 you can make it 1,000, and the regular hours instead of 150 you can straight away take it to 500. So you can have 1,000 for the premium and 500 for the regular. That itself will definitely see a lot of riffraff, not going to the Auto Expo, whereby those who are genuinely interested, those who are genuinely keen on getting there and seeing what all is on display, they'll actually get an opportunity to do so. See, I understand that you need to have a lot of people seeing whatever's on display, but I'm not convinced. I'm not entirely convinced that the Auto Expo is a platform where footfalls really matter. I think quality should score over quantity, especially when I look at the prices of cars and other vehicles which are on display there. I'm very sure that probably 90 to 95% of the kind of people that I saw there, they probably those who cannot really afford whatever's on display. So, and if that is the case, see, I understand India is a country where socio-economic divide is huge, digital divide is very huge, but I don't think Auto Expo is a platform where you will try to improve that. The best say metaphor which I can give is, if you have a 5 star, will you like open up its doors to its rooms to anybody on the street and say, okay, come in, you can just you can take a look at our rooms, you can see how they look and how they you can just come in, just walk in, no problem. I don't think you would do that, right? So similarly, I think Auto Expo is like a 5 star property for the automobile industry in India, and therefore you must have people coming in to the Auto Expo who are also relevant to the industry in so many different ways. And that is the reason I think, see, one, ticketing can be the ticket prices can be much higher, and also you can actually increase the duration as well as the entire duration of the expo, as well as the timings. See, what like the timings, what I see is they are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Instead of doing that, why don't you have like say 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. so you have a 12-hour duration, and within that you can say have 3 to 4 slabs. Say you can have 3 slabs of 4 hours each or 4 slabs of 3 hours each, wherein you streamline the visitors. You have a bunch of visitors being allowed to come in say at 10 a.m. and they must leave by 2 p.m. Another bunch which comes in at 2 p.m. and leaves by 6 p.m. Another bunch which comes in at 6 p.m. and leaves by 10 p.m. That way everything is so streamlined. And another thing which I feel which can be really done so effectively is that have a sort of a tour organized inside, where every group is kind of taken in such a way that okay, you first go from this place to this place, this stall to that stall, this particular manufacturer to that particular manufacturer, and so you actually get to see everything, but in a very very streamlined fashion. I don't think this this chaos which you see over there, people don't even know which manufacturer. I saw so many people who are looking for Hyundai's platform, looking for Toyota's platform, looking for Audi's platform. So I don't think that should be the case. You should be able to navigation should be much easier. There should be guided maybe people there who are guiding people, guiding visitors in terms of how to go, and everything can be channelized and say streamlined much much better than what it is. And first of all, this whole thing about passes, like for example, even I actually did not pay for my pass. Now I'm a person, I can definitely pay, and I don't mind. I proposed 1,000 rupees for the premium hours. I would be more than happy to pay. If I take myself personally, what I see is that I was very keen that I go and check out the premium SUV options which are there at the expo, because I'm very particular and I'm very keen. I'm very keen that I get a good SUV for me and my family, whether it's mid to high end or absolute premium end this year in 2012. Now I understand I can probably do that independent of the Auto Expo as well. But the entire experience of having all of the manufacturers under one roof is so much better, wherein I, as a prospective customer, can check out all the options which are there and then accordingly make the best choice for myself. But I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. Often I could not even get to any of those stalls, check out the vehicles for myself, ask questions, compare. I was making little notes in terms of the vehicles which I would like to shortlist, and then feature to feature I was trying to make a comparison. And there's, see, one thing is you visit the website and then you actually do a comparison. See, and visiting each and every showroom otherwise independent of the Auto Expo is not always so feasible. And nothing like actually seeing the vehicles, getting a feel for them, getting a feel for the leg room, etc., and then just sitting in, seeing the look and feel. I think it has a completely different positive experience that you get that way. But I just couldn't get that. I just couldn't get that. And it's all because of the huge crowds that are there. And that is why I feel something drastic needs to be done about the crowds. Please limit the number of people coming in, have them in batches, and plan it in such a way that, say, each pass like this must be valid not only for, say, a particular day, but certain hours, so that people coming and the people leave also by a certain time, so that a fresh batch can come in. And then you can actually increase the number of days. Why not have it, say, over maybe a 3-week period? That way there'll be so many people can actually plan their visit accordingly. Because I know what happens is that during the Auto Expo there are people from all over India, and indeed from other parts of the world also, who are coming in. Everybody is trying to come in and see the vehicles on probably the same days, and that's why it gets so crowded. And okay, more and more people do need to get a chance to see whatever's on offer, but that can be done in a different way, where when you have more number of days for the exhibition, you can definitely have more people coming in a much more balanced fashion. And one thing which really strikes me so often is this entire pass culture in Delhi, where too many of these passes are given out for free, and I mean, to be honest, even I didn't pay for my pass. So, and I don't mind paying. So, and when that is the case, why not do away with this entire pass culture and just let everything be ticketed. I think when everything is ticketed, and when you have a reasonably, substantial figure, say, like I said, 1,000 rupees for premium and 500 for general hours, I think you'll see much less, the riff raff which would come in, and you would see more quality visitors who are actually keen. And there'll be certain sections who'll say, okay, you need to have school children, also getting an opportunity, and probably they should not have to pay at all. I agree, and for that, what you can do is you can have certain days. You can have certain days where, children, maybe school as well as, say, college, college students, they get an opportunity where they can probably come in as a batch, from that particular school or from that particular college, and they're probably allowed to come in and then take a look completely free. You don't need to charge them at all, but again, it needs to be much more organized, where, there's a streamlined process by which they're coming into the venue, they're taking a look at everything that is on offer, and then they're leaving accordingly. What is happening with these, I call them riff raff, you can use whatever term you want, is they're not really interested in the vehicles. They're more interested in the girls which are standing, next to these vehicles, asking them to smile, asking them, taking pictures of them. This whole thing that हम लोग तो बंदी ताड़ने जा रहे हैं. This concept is not for the Auto Expo, please. I mean, you can have other events where these people can very well go and bandi tado, but I don't think, you need the Auto Expo for that. This is a premium event which I think is representative of the automobile industry in India, the growth that it has seen in India. I mean, you have an industry which has, I think, in my opinion, seen stratospheric growth in the, recent times. Say over the last, say, especially this decade after 2000 and beyond, it has really grown, and particularly, say, over the last 4 or 5 years, I would say. And that being the situation, you really want to highlight yourself at your best. And by having such huge crowds, I don't know what kind of impression you're giving to the world. There's media from all over the world which has come in. There are so many people from abroad. There are so many of these foreign car companies, foreign vehicle companies, who in turn have their foreign representatives at the show, and I don't know what kind of experience they get. And the bad experience just does not end at the venue itself. It continues even after that. For example, I had a tough time entering. I had a much worse time when I left the Auto Expo, and for me to reach from Pragati Maidan to just the India Gate hexagon took me good an hour and a half. And that is where I feel, again, traffic coordination is so poor. Why allow any other vehicles along that Mathura Road section, which is right next to the Pragati Maidan? Probably you can divert all those vehicles. You can make it such that parking of vehicles is at a distant location, and then you have a shuttle system where people are being picked up and dropped, to and fro from the venue. And from there they can go in such a way that they don't block that section, the main Mathura Road section. And please divert all other vehicles. If you divert all other vehicles, what will happen is, at least, only those who are concerned or to do with the Auto Expo, they will actually come there. Others will not come there. And these are certain steps which you really need to take. And then I also felt that the food options at the expo can be much better, especially when there are so many people. I think I'm not sure, that whatever. I agree that the food court was good. There was a good premium dining section, etc. There were these options, but I think they can be much better. You can have far better options where, especially when you consider the fact that there are people from all over the world who've come in, you should also have global cuisine on offer. I went to the premium dining section where it was 600 rupees a plate for a buffet kind of an arrangement, which I think A, was overpriced, and B, I don't think it was really justifying the cost, as well as the kind of food options which were there. So I think within that price, you can actually have much better items on display, and you can also increase the variety. And overall, the sense that I get is that Pragati Maidan by itself as a venue, probably, see, what I look at it as a plus is in terms of its location, which is really in the heart of the city. But other than that, I'm not too convinced. I feel such a premium event needs a much better location, and I think any of the suburbs or the satellite towns like Noida and Gurgaon can probably have a much better venue in terms of a much bigger area. You can spread out the stalls in such a way, you can have a mix of, see, and this time January is like, the outdoors are very pleasant, mildly, in fact I would say it's cold. So, and yet, considering India, where it of course doesn't snow, Delhi doesn't snow, so you can at least have a mix of, say, outdoor and indoor stalls. You can have people coming in and having a very rich experience. You can have maybe the cars not just stationary, but then they're going around there. You can see them in motion, you can see them in action, and that will actually enhance the experience so much more. If I can see a car which I would like to buy, which is in action, going there, if I want to buy an SUV and I can see it vroom the way it does, I will be so much more impressed. I would definitely like to buy that vehicle much more than otherwise, I would if I were to just see it in a stationary form. Now, all of this can happen only if you have a much bigger venue, a much bigger arena, a much bigger area over which all of these vehicles are showcased. And for that, I think Pragati Maidan would probably not really be the right venue. So these are the things which I stress upon: improve the the layout, change the timings, increase the ticket prices, have scheduled people, visitors in terms of when they come and when they leave. You can make sure that there are people from the organizing committee or the body who are there with each group, so that for sure that okay, they've come in and they will leave at whatever scheduled time. So there has to be some discipline which is followed, and that's when you can actually showcase your own country at its best. This way, when especially the foreign delegates, what do they see and what impression do they carry? Agreed, they probably know that India is already a very thickly populated country, but this kind of chaos, this kind of confusion at a premium event, I don't think is justified in any form or manner. So please, look into these things. Please try and change things. And I personally have been at every Auto Expo, probably from I would say till the 90s, from the 98 Auto Expo onwards is what I recall. I have been at every Auto Expo. I remember till about, say, 2004 or so, it was not so bad. There were not such thick crowds. You could actually enjoy, each time. You could just go and you could comfortably look at all that was, there on display. You could take pictures, and you could generally have a very good time. But I remember that 2006 onwards, and especially 2008 onwards, it got really crowded, and last time was really bad. And especially with the Tata Nano being showcased in 2010, I think that was like the ultimate, where you really had to fight your way just to see the Nano. You had to battle your way through the crowds. And this time, while there's probably no such one particular model, which, or maybe Bajaj's small car, but other than that, you have so many good vehicles, and it's so unfortunate that you have riff-raff coming in, which is least interested, or which is generally out to have a good time pass kar lenge ji, bandiyan taad lenge, and bas हो गया and घर चले जाएंगे. So this kind of an attitude of people, do you really want them is what I question. And accordingly, what I would really suggest is, please take my feedback and suggestions into consideration, and over time try and change the entire experience drastically. And if you cannot do it for 2012, there's still quite a few days left, so you really can do it. But if you think you can't, then at least do it for maybe 2014. You can have a much better experience. Change the venue, have streamlined timings, have streamlined people, change the, increase the ticket prices drastically. Do all of this, do away with these free passes. You can do all of this, and I'm sure it'll be a great experience for everybody. Thank you so much for watching this.